Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to my hobby blog. Today it is October 20th, but this is going to be Spooktober day 19. I had a job interview today and I ended up getting it, so I'm feeling very happy. I did have to, delay the recording of this review a day, but it's okay because I watched the wonderful Possessor by Brandon Cronenberg, the son of David Cronenberg, who is one of my favorite filmmakers. So I was eagerly waiting for this. I heard some bad reviews. I think it was mostly just your typical Cronenberg complaints that a lot of people have, which is that it's very visceral, very cerebral. You really have to be immersed in the film. And if you don't know, it's basically about a woman who is able to take control of people's bodies, and she assassinates people, completes tasks for people, whether it's killing a family member or killing a politician, a lawyer, so on and so forth. And it really goes from there. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a surprise for me. Structurally, it was very similar to Scanners, which is one of my favorite of the David Cronenberg movies. It's I just really enjoyed watching the similarities between father and son of Brandon and David Cronenberg. I don't know if his dad had any input into the script or, if this was all his son. So it was very bloody, which I loved. It was easily my favorite part. There were lots of points where someone gets stabbed in the neck and the camera is, right there at the wound as the knife is just constantly stabbing into someone's neck. So that was wonderful. The main character I didn't really like. She was missing something. She was very detached, which is like the point of the story. I understood that. But she wasn't really an interesting protagonist. I think if someone had to play that character, it would be Tilda Swinton. I think Tilda Swinton would have knocked that role out of the park. I also have to give a big shout out to the actor who played her second target, the one that she mind controls for most of the movie. And his acting was just phenomenal. And the entire time, you could see her mannerisms in him as they fought over the body. That was one part that really reminded me of Scanners, is when Michael Ironside and our main character are fighting each other during the mind control, battle at the end, where Michael Ironside and our main character are just fighting each other mentally for domination. And we had the exact same thing going on here, except this time it's a lot bloodier, a lot more depressing. I don't want to go into spoilers, but there's a really great moment at the end of the movie where everything comes to a head and it completely changes in terms of the movie. And that was easily my favorite part of the movie. It all came together just right. When usually, Scanners doesn't have the best ending ever. It's not the best movie by Cronenberg, but I think what Brandon does with The Possessor is that he takes all these little things from Scanners and really improves upon them. And watching that movie and comparing it to Scanners, because from the first few scenes, I was like, yeah, this is his son remaking Scanners, but in a more modern way, where it's like a helmet that they get put onto the woman and she gets linked with someone's DNA. I don't know how it works, but it's fine. It's a great explanation for what's going on, which is not much of an explanation. There's some sciencey stuff going on about like the skull and having to go into a very specific part at the top of the brain. And so, yeah. It wasn't just like spoon feeding us all of the explanations. I didn't need to know the history of this technology, and they didn't give it to us. But instead, they showed us a world where this technology exists and where this technology is used for not evil, but I guess also evil. Because there's a part in the movie where she takes over this guy's body very early on, and he's, just got hired on to this tech job that her girlfriend's dad is the CEO of. So he gets in, and they're basically tapping into people's webcams and like counting how many curtains they have and what brand of curtains they have and what color, curtains or just cloth, furniture, towels, everything. And they basically figure out the IP address, I guess. And they really... It's basically what Google Home does to you. They, hear you say the word Apple, and suddenly your phone is, recommending you Apple products. Okay, it's something very similar to that, but without them knowing. Someone just taps into my webcam here, and they're like, oh, Friday the 13th, Vinegar Syndrome. Like, we need to target this guy's ads. So, but that was really one side of the technology that we saw, and it was just a small peep. And it was a really good movie. I think the pacing went really well. The characters were a little bland, but I think that's just from the dehumanization that comes from this technology. I mean, the woman who is our main character, she is just so distant from human connection. That's kind of amazing to think about. While the guy who gets possessed, she's the possessor, title of the film, the guy who gets possessed, he immediately gives off a totally different persona, and it was really fun to see the interactions between him and his girlfriend, where they're having intimate moments, they're having sex, and they meet each other, like, in a hallway, and they kiss, outside of anyone's attention. And right as he becomes possessed, she's immediately like, what's wrong with you? What is going on with you right now? And it was great. There's just really nothing wrong with this movie. I believe this is his first film. This is his debut. So I'm really excited to see what else not Sanderson, but Brandon Cronenberg does. Because if it's starting like this, he's going to go far. I hope he has as successful of a career as David Cronenberg. Because David Cronenberg just has so many great movies. He has Crash, Scanners, Videodrome, The Fly. He has The Dead Zone. He has Shivers. I mean, 6 movies right there that are easily 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Well, except for Scanners, that's like 8 out of 10. And Naked Lunch, I would say, is like 6, 7 out of 10. I maintain that is just a bland remake of Videodrome. Same plot details, same MacGuffin, but instead of a videotape that makes you lose control of your mind, you get a bug gas, whatever they call it, where they spray down your house with bug spray. I guess bug spray. And that turns our characters crazy. Bug spray. Naked Lunch is just okay. I need to rewatch it. I'm very curious to see what Daisuke Beppu has to say about it. He's doing a Cronenberg watch through. He's going to do Shivers soon, which is going to be fun. So, yeah. I think that's all I have to say. So, thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys' Spooktober is going just as well as mine.